Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is a Friday. It is the 24th day of May. We are like cruising right up to the end of the month here, Heidi. Today is National Aviation Maintenance Technicians Day. That's a good person to celebrate, by the way. Without that person, your plane
would not do very well.
Can you imagine getting on an airplane and hearing it going rear, like trying to get it started and they got to jump start it? Would you go flying anywhere in that plane? No. It's also Brother's Day today. So, hey, if you got a brother, call him and say Happy Brother's Day. National Escargot Day. I've never had escargot.
Me either. I have no interest.
National Don't Fry Day. So even though it's a Friday, you're not supposed to fry today. National Wyoming Day and National Scavenger Hunt Day. So it's a good day to go looking for stuff. So all of those things happening today. And we've got a special guest joining us. We'll chat with Jessica Holmes about her new book called Depression, the Comedy. Excited to chat with Jessica.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. Timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A new study found that working in a nail salon is just as unhealthy for you as working at an oil refinery.
I actually knew that. I have a friend who used to work in nail salons, and she used to get so sick.
All the inhaling of the fumes and stuff.
Yep, and she had to give that up.
Yeah, that's that would be kind of a bit tough line of work. You know, you got to breathe in all that, and you got to listen to all the gossip. I mean, that would be tough. All right, I got a link to that story if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. Don't do that. That's, according to this story here, that's what they said. A person who was driving on a revoked license, and she walked in with drugs in her possession, and that was the advice. Don't do that. 29-year-old Amanda Smith was arrested last Wednesday. She drove with a revoked license in order to reportedly pay a bond for her boyfriend.
Yeah,
and she had meth
smart.
in her pocket at the time.
What the heck?
So she showed up at the police station with no driver's license. Oh, by the way, also intoxicated.
Oh, my gosh.
With meth in her pocket. And she also had something tucked in her bra, and she pulled that out and stuck it in her pocket. That was 2.5 grams of meth, crystal meth. The advice from the officers when they posted this online was, yeah, don't do that.
Bad day right there.
Yeah, it's not thinking. That's the kind of thing you do, though, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. An eagle-eyed Game of Thrones fan discovered a water bottle that was left in a scene on Sunday night's finale. Here's the thing I don't understand. You would think somebody working there...
At this point, they have to be doing it on purpose. Because you don't accidentally leave things... you would think heads would have rolled after the first incident.
Coffee mug thing or whatever.
And then they kept doing it.
I'm like, no,
it seems like, it seems like now it's just, hey, let's get people talking.
Let's see if we can get people... Yeah, look at all the free
publicity.
Press we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like people weren't... If that hadn't happened, nobody would have ever heard of this show before, Heidi. Okay, they got all kinds of free press.
Yeah, I never watched it.
And just so you know, by the way, we've never seen an episode, but I know there are a lot of fans out there, so we're not dogging it. If you like it, that's cool. And this is good news if you're a fan of GOT. That's what they call it, Heidi. It's Game of Thrones, but it's GOT. Creator George R.R. Martin told fans he expects to launch several spin-offs in the near future as well.
Do you think?
Yeah, if it's doing well.
Shocker.
So.
I did not see that coming.
I know, shocker for sure. That is today's Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
If you can't have a drink without it leading to another drink and another drink, maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by BetterCreditCard.net. Facebook has implemented a one-strike policy for live streamers who show violent acts on the site. Well, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, if you're doing bad things and there's violence, but who gets to choose what is violent? Because there are some people that do things that maybe other people would think is violent. That's where it's that slippery slope, Heidi. The Bachelorette TV program premiered with Hannah B. starting off strong by sending home Scott, who allegedly has a girlfriend.
Uh-oh, Scott.
In
come
Bachelor
on.
Nation, that means Scott is not he's not there for the right reason. What is the right reason?
To fall in love and to
is
live
that what it
happily
is?
ever after. Is that why?
Can't wait to meet somebody on a reality show. I hope it works out, but, probably not. Who frontman Roger Daltrey, this is where you're supposed to say who?
Who?
Yeah, the band Who. Roger Daltrey, he blasted pot smokers during a concert in New York City last Monday. People were very shocked. They're like, wait a minute, you guys don't do that?
Yeah, really?
Because, that's kind of cool. But you rock stars, you typically think that kind of thing. But he, in the concert, he was kind of
I wonder what he said.
I think he was smelling that from the stage and was not thrilled with it. So, if I understand the story correctly.
Gosh, he's got to be how old?
Well, he's 143. So.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, he's not. I'm being silly. Roger Daltrey, I don't know. I would guess him in his 70s.
So he's probably beyond all of that stuff and doesn't want to be smelling it anymore.
I love their music, by the way. Who?
Who?
Yeah, Who. Their music is good music.
Who?
Who? The music from We're going to move on. Britney Spears, she has a manager, and her manager says she may never perform again due to complications in her personal life. Well, that stinks.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because she's a very talented young lady.
She really is.
Hope, Britney, if you're listening, get things together, young lady.
But I can't imagine the kinds of
the stress.
pressures and the stress that you've got from a life like that. I would much rather just be out of the limelight.
We got this radio program, and I know there's a lot of pressures on us to get it just right every single day. Just get it right. And, sometimes I lose sleep over that. So
do you?
No,
I don't.
No, we try to do a good job, and I really hope that we do, and I hope that we provide people with the entertainment that you expect for the top dollar you pay to listen to this program.
We will make sure you get every penny's
worth of what you paid for. No, I really do. I think we try really hard. Tom Petty's daughters are suing his widow for $5 million. Don't know what's going on there.
Whoa,
yeah, that's kind of sad. I would say that it could be something petty, but that would just not be very nice. So. See what I did there?
Yeah, I definitely see what you did
so
there.
I don't know what's going on. I honestly don't know. I'm just being silly there. Leonard Bailey, that's the California surgeon who became famous performing the first baboon to a human heart transplant. He died at age 76 earlier this week. So that's really sad. Taylor Swift is in the news. She's criticized on Twitter for telling Ellen DeGeneres that she shaves her legs every day. So every single day.
Who?
Okay. Taylor Swift.
Who?
So... I don't know. Heidi, I don't make this stuff up. I just
is it bad to shave your legs every day? I mean, I feel like I should shave my legs every day.
I think you should as well, but
I don't.
She's my wife.
But I don't know why that would be a problem if I did.
Yeah, I don't know. To each their own. And one last story here. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry shared never-before-seen photos from their wedding day. So I wonder what happened there, where here we are, years later? Is that a couple years ago? They had a baby, the royal baby. So was it like a year later or a year and a half later? Whatever. So I wonder where these photos came from. And all of a sudden they found them. They're like, we've got to share these with the world.
Well, maybe there's some that they kept to themselves and decided now is the time to.
Just realized.
Like, we're not getting as much attention as we used to. I'm going to release some wedding pictures.
We haven't released our wedding photos. It's been 20 years almost. Should we release them?
We can release those if you
No.
would like to.
Let's keep them hostage. I'm not releasing nothing. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today we're going to visit with a celebrated comedian and author, Jessica Holmes. She's got a new book called Depression, the Comedy, A Tale of Perseverance. Jessica, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Fabulous. Thank you so much for taking some time to visit with us. This book is just recently out, and it's done very well so far. You guys have got to be really happy with the success you're having so far.
Oh, absolutely. My goal with writing this was just to let as many people know who are suffering from any kind of mental health issue that they're not alone. So it's really validating that people have been coming out and getting it.
Now, there are some folks listening that absolutely know who you are because you have shot to stardom in Canada. You kind of have almost like a Carol Burnett-style show. It's a program called the Royal Canadian Air Farce, and then you've opened for Jerry Seinfeld and Ellen DeGeneres, and so there's some people listening that are going, oh my gosh, it's Jessica Holmes. Now, for those that are not listening, just trust me, she's a very funny lady, and you should absolutely listen to her. But this book is not all comedy. It's called Depression, the Comedy, so there's kind of a depression side of it. Tell me a little bit about why that's part of your story.
Absolutely. So I went through postpartum depression, and then years later I went through a regular garden variety depression, if you will. And when I came out of it, the first thing I wanted to do was just let people know they're not alone, because 1 in 5 people will go through a depression. And in comedy, we say tragedy plus time equals comedy. And so I knew I just wanted to take my experience and put it into a book in a really lighthearted way that wouldn't trigger further sadness in people, but that would just let them know this happens to all of us. And in my life, I always try and put a comedic spin on everything, like knowing whatever you go through, you'll laugh at it one day. Even when my daughter rubs my face and says, your beard is so soft. I just figure eventually I'll be laughing about that.
Well, I'm laughing about it right now. Sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not. Maybe I'm not there yet.
Now, the book, Depression, the Comedy, there are people who've read this and have had like a really close connection to it. Do you have any examples of people who maybe reached out and said, hey, I've been going through this kind of thing as well?
Yeah, I've heard from people who have told me, oh, you know what, I think I was in a depression and I didn't even really know it, but I read your book and I understand now that I am. But then I've also heard from family members of people suffering from depression, and they say that they read the book and it helped them know how to deal with their spouse or their parent more. Because I have 2 chapters about my husband in there, because as you can imagine, your partner would be the closest person to you going through this, and it's almost as hard for them trying to figure out how to fix you. And of course, you can't fix another person; they have to kind of get on their own course. But so I am grateful that I was able to let people know how to deal with a loved one going through it as well.
Again, our guest right now is Jessica Holmes. She's got a book called Depression, the Comedy, A Tale of Perseverance. The book is available now. We're going to throw a link to that so people can find it. What is next for Jessica Holmes? Do you have another book in mind? Do you have other comedy programming of some sort in mind? What do you think is the next chapter in your life?
Oh, gosh. My favorite thing in the world is doing impressions, and I got rather famous in Canada for doing a Celine Dion impression and for blessing the world with my voice. And now I've been working on Nicki Minaj and a bunch of other people. So yeah, I love my live performances, and I just decided when I perform live, I'm going to put a mental health message into that as well to kind of always leave the audience with a little warmth in their heart when I get on stage.
Well, and I think as a comedian, I think you do that anyway, because, you know, you get a chance to get up, no matter what I've been going through in my day, when I sit in the audience and I listen to a comedian, as long as they're a good comedian, and you definitely are, I'm going to leave there in a much better mood than I showed up. So I think that you've been doing that all along, whether you realize it or not.
Oh, that's very sweet. And I guess if I could leave people with any message, it's just that we're all in this together. We all have these bad days, and I never want anyone to feel alone with it. So thank you. That's very sweet of you.
Well, again, the book is available now. Jessica, thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
My total pleasure. Thank you.
Again, Jessica Holmes. The book is called Depression, the Comedy, A Tale of Perseverance. I have a link to that in our show notes to make it really easy to find. We also have a copy of the book that we're going to give away. You can find that and a link to the book, all of that information at johnandheidishow.com.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. Timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact, Heidi.
What's that, John?
I think I said it wrong, didn't I? Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If I don't get it right, I think I'll get in trouble. James Patterson coined the Toys R Us Kids jingle. Yeah, before he got into writing those massive, best-selling thrillers. James Patterson, yeah, that guy.
Really?
He worked for an advertising firm, and he is credited with coming up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Well,
the
that's
jingle,
cool.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I remember the jingle.
The jingle outlived the place. Well, he did a darn good job, and here you go. Now you know. James Patterson is the one that came up with
Really?
that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now you know the rest of the story. It's today's fun fact.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, fear this. It's time for fun with phobias. Heidi, tell me what this one is. It's trypanophobia. 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 Trypanophobia.
I have no idea.
I think our son might have this. Fear of injections. Is he afraid of needles?
Yeah, so is Taylor.
Yeah,
actually.
and my brother, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. My brother, Joe, love you, Joe. You're awesome. He's got tattoos from his
Everywhere.
knuckles to his nose,
Yeah.
and he doesn't like getting a shot. He's afraid of needles. I'm like, wait a minute. You know there's a needle involved with all these tattoos, right? Like, I didn't quite understand that whole thing. But
It
he
doesn't
has
go as deep.
trypanophobia. I don't know. There you go. It's today's fun with phobias.
If you can't have a drink without it leading to another drink and another drink, maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Sometimes paradise comes with its own hazards. A Key West dancer, it's got a different word here, but we're going to just say dancer. She was jailed after police said she committed an assault with a deadly weapon. The weapon? A coconut. 36-year-old Shanta LaShasta Bolds, who is listed as a Miami resident, was arrested on a felony charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. This happened at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night. Now, nothing good happens at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night.
No, very rarely.
She admitted that she threw a coconut at this gentleman, George Exposito, because he was videotaping her on the porch of a gentleman's club. And she shouted obscenities at him and as he walked by, and then she hurled a coconut at him.
Wow.
And he got hit with it. So there you go. Anyway, she apparently didn't like him videotaping her. I don't know. 2 a.m. I'm sure there was booze involved. It doesn't say that on here.
No.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of weird things involved. But there you go. That's today's weird news, because I've not heard of somebody being arrested for throwing a coconut before, but now I have. Thanks for listening to today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. A New Jersey man was arrested after police say a video appeared on social media appearing to show the suspect urinating on a police SUV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Not a smart thing. 22-year-old Takir Boyd, allegedly seen in the video, shot on a Saturday night, late at night. I think we just talked about that. Late at night on Saturday nights, usually
Nobody's up to anything
happening.
good. No.
This police vehicle that was clearly marked was parked outside of a movie theater, and they were there for a different reason altogether. But this guy decided he was going to urinate on the police vehicle.
Yeah, that's classy.
And he got himself in a little bit of trouble for doing that. So because there were video posted to social media of this event happening. So bad idea. Don't do that. I mean, if you got to go, don't do that. That's not the right thing. It's going to land you right here in today's moment of duh.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these three things, Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? If you get this, by the way, you're doing way better than me.
Okay.
I only knew one of these three things. Kathy Rigby, Sandy Duncan, and Robin Williams. Robin Williams.
Peter Pan.
How did you know that?
Because I knew
Sandy Duncan?
Sandy Duncan was Peter Pan.
And Kathy Rigby and Robin Williams. Yeah,
I didn't know Kathy Rigby, but I did
all
know.
portrayed Peter Pan.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. So, yeah, you are better than me in so many ways. She's my wife. I love her dearly. These three things. Thank you so much for listening on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of ripitgloves.com. Promo code radio. That's RIPIT gloves.com. So he helped save her daughter. 2 years later, she returned the favor. This happened in Minnesota. What a cool story. Minnesota woman has helped save the life of a firefighter who, by the way, helped save the life of her daughter 2 years ago.
Okay.
In August of 2016, Becca Bundy's young daughter had a seizure at her home. Volunteer firefighter Bill Cox was the first to arrive. The two recently met again in October of 2018 when Bundy went to a benefit for a neighbor at a Viking bar, and Cox was tending bar. He was wearing a T-shirt that said, "My name is Bill. I'm in the end stages of kidney failure and I need a kidney."
Oh.
She said, "I couldn't get out of my head. I just said, I'm the one, and I know it." They talked for a bit. She realized that we had the same blood type. Testing proved that she was indeed a match. And guess what?
Wow.
He got a kidney from her.
Wow, that is
It's awesome.
beautiful.
Says, "I can remember both of us crying tears of joy and Bill thanking me." The surgery took place in February. 3 months later, the 66-year-old is now free from dialysis and resuming his retirement.
Wow.
She says, "I feel," this is what Bundy says, "I feel pretty blessed to be chosen to be on this journey with him." So that's what she said, wiping tears away. So how cool is that?
That
And
is just absolutely beautiful.
is such a cool idea, by the way, for him to have that T-shirt, because if he hadn't, how would people know? What a
Right.
great idea.
Yeah.
So
wow.
for people who need, I didn't know that was even a thing. So whoever came up with the idea to do that T-shirt, brilliant, because had he not been wearing that, she wouldn't have known. Think about how many
How
people.
cool is it that he saved her daughter
I know.
and then she was able to save him in return? That's
Yeah.
a that is such an amazingly positive,
I love it.
beautiful story.
I love it. If you come across some good news somewhere that you'd like to share, you can get that to us either at johnandheidishow.com. We've got this in the show notes. You can read this story there. Or you can send it through our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.